The morning after my husband's funeral, I stood on my parents' porch with my newborn asleep against my chest. I hadn't slept in 2 days. Grief had a way of making time blur together until every hour felt the same. I knocked softly. My sister opened the door first. Her eyes drifted from my face to the baby wrapped in a faded blanket. "We're not running an orphanage." Behind her, my mother gave a slow nod as if those words settled the matter. My father stepped forward, met my eyes for only a second, and quietly locked the screen door. No shouting, no argument, just a click. I stood there long enough to realize no one was coming back. Then I turned around and walked away. The next 3 days weren't dramatic. They were simply hard. A church volunteer found me a room in a family shelter. A retired nurse showed me how to soothe my daughter when she cried through the night. Someone donated diapers. Another person left groceries outside my door without asking for thanks. None of them knew me. None of them owed me anything. Yet they treated me with more kindness than the people who had raised me. I spent those days wondering if my husband would be disappointed that I couldn't keep our little family together. Then I remembered something he used to tell me whenever life became overwhelming. "You don't measure family by blood. You measure it by who stays." Those words stayed with me. On the third afternoon, the shelter manager knocked gently on my door. "Someone from the county has been trying to reach you." My stomach tightened. Had I missed paperwork? Had there been some mistake? Instead, two officials introduced themselves politely. One worked with the probate court. The other represented the attorney handling my husband's estate. They apologized for tracking me down through hospital records and emergency contacts. "There are several documents that require your signature," one of them explained. "Your husband updated everything after your daughter was born. You're the sole legal representative and beneficiary." I hadn't known. We had talked about updating paperwork, but then the accident happened before we ever discussed the details again. The attorney explained that my husband had arranged life insurance, guardianship instructions for our daughter, and ownership transfers for the small construction company he had spent years building. Nothing made the loss easier. It only meant I had responsibilities I hadn't expected. While they searched for me, they had also visited my parents' house because it was listed as an old emergency contact. That's when everything changed. My parents suddenly realized the officials weren't looking for unpaid debts or unanswered questions. They were looking for me because important decisions couldn't move forward without me. My father called repeatedly. My mother left long voice messages saying there had been a misunderstanding. Even my sister texted that they just wanted to talk. 3 days earlier, I had nowhere to go. Now they were desperate to find me. I listened to every message once, not because I believed them, because I needed to hear how quickly circumstances could change without anyone actually changing inside. A week later, I agreed to meet them at my attorney's office instead of their home. They looked smaller, somehow. Not weaker, just less certain. My mother cried before anyone sat down. My father cleared his throat several times but couldn't seem to find the right words. My sister avoided looking at the baby she had once dismissed. "I wish things had happened differently," my father finally said. "So do I answered. Silence settled over the room. It wasn't angry, it was honest. The attorney entered with documents, explaining timelines, legal responsibilities, and the future of the business. Every important question came to me. Every decision required my approval. No one interrupted. When the meeting ended, my mother reached toward my daughter. I didn't pull away, but I didn't move closer either. "I hope someday you'll forgive us," she whispered. "I don't know what that looks like yet," I replied. "Right now, I need people around my daughter who won't close the door when she needs them most." No one argued. They couldn't. Outside, I buckled my daughter into her car seat. The shelter was no longer where we would stay. My husband's careful planning had given us enough stability to begin again. I wasn't celebrating. I still missed him every morning. I still wished my parents had opened that door. But grief had taught me something unexpected. The people who help you stand after you've fallen often become more important than the people who watched you fall. As I drove away, my phone rang again. This time I let it go to voicemail, not out of revenge.